The more I think about it, the more I think Joe Burrow has a low ceiling as an NFL quarterback and will never reach the status he was billed as, which is being the best quarterback prospect since Luck. To start with all this, let's go back and look at his college career. At Ohio State, he could not start over JT Barrett and then lost an open quarterback battle to Dwayne Haskins. Neither Haskins or Barrett are very good NFL quarterbacks, or really even elite prospects. Haskins was the third quarterback taken in the mid first round. Burrow then transferred to LSU, of course, and started a full season there before his Heisman campaign, even. And that went, like, fine, I guess. He was probably a very late round draft prospect, if anything. So at this point, Burrow had spent 4 years in college with absolutely no indication that he would be an NFL quarterback. And that's pretty unprecedented for a first round pick, and even more rare for a first overall pick. And especially one who's compared to like Andrew Luck or whatever can't miss prospect you want to pick from the last decade. Burrow, when it comes to physical tools, is pretty limited. Tim Dix broke down rookie quarterbacks frame by frame and found Burrow's throw velocity and release time were below average. And really, if Burrow was as gifted as, say, Andrew Luck or RG3, he would have been starting over JT Barrett. Arm strength has always been something he's succeeded in spite of, not because of. And if you look at all the elite quarterbacks in the league right now, most of them have cannons. Burrow, in his last year at LSU, he was substantially older than most of the defensive players he was competing against, had spent 4 years learning the game, and played on a team with the most NFL talent in college football history. His superior supporting cast and understanding of the game is what spurred his historic season, not his raw talent. And his play style at LSU with the scrambling and throwing contested catches was never going to work on this Bengals team, which I sort of touched on in my rookie quarterback video. Andy Dalton had the fastest release in football last year, and the Bengals finished 20th in sack rate. Burrow's scrambling is why they are currently dead last. And scrambling around isn't necessarily a bad thing. The longer a quarterback holds the ball, the more likely they are to find an open receiver. It allows deep throws to develop, opens up the big play. But the Bengals haven't hit any big plays this year. Burrow has attempted 24 passes with 20 plus air yards this season, and he's only completed one of them. The Bengals are really mind-bogglingly bad at completing the deep ball this season. Watching Burrow scramble around and create in college spurred a lot of Aaron Rodgers comparisons, but Aaron Rodgers might have the best arm talent of any quarterback ever, and Joe Burrow's arm talent is his biggest weakness. He's like Rodgers when he came back from his broken collarbone too early and threw 3 picks. And Burrow's scrambling has resulted in some cool-looking highlights, which has spurred people into saying that he's played well this season, and that the Bengals' offensive line is the only problem, not Burrow. But this is not quite true. Burrow is responsible for a good deal of his own sacks. After the Eagles game, Zach Taylor said that he thought only 4 of the 8 sacks allowed were on the line. And pass block win rate suggests that the Bengals have the 27th ranked offensive line in the league, which, is bad, but it's not the worst. Their pass blocking success is only 1% worse than the Chargers, yet the Chargers, who are also led by a rookie quarterback, have half the amount of sacks that the Bengals do. Burrow is currently 29th in DYR, he's 30th in QBR, and his yards per attempt is lower than the man he lost his quarterback battle to, Dwayne Haskins. And this all sounds terrible, but the news with Burrow isn't all bad. I cited the Tim Dix article earlier that said he had below average arm strength and release time. But that same study also said that he had elite decision making. That time to throw once locking on to a receiver was incredibly quick, which is an indication of great mental processing and understanding of defenses. I just don't think his play style right now is fitting to his team or his own skill set. He's Alex Smith playing like Aaron Rodgers, and I'm not saying he has no path to success. I guess even maybe eventually he can be Deshaun Watson, who had questions regarding the velocity of his passes, and also scrambles around and takes a lot of sacks. But Watson came in and immediately had success and almost instantly showed that he could overcome his college weaknesses, whereas Burrow hasn't. I don't know. I'm not going to pretend to know what Burrow is going to look like 5 years from now, but I'm much more pessimistic about him than what the consensus is. I think he has bad habits that need to be coached out, and I'm not certain Zach Taylor is going to stick around for a long time. And the Bengals famously refuse to spend any money on free agents. The organizational competency has as much to do with player development as the player himself. And Burrow needs a new offensive line, he needs a new receiving core, and he probably needs a new play style. And do we think the Bengals are going to be able to provide him with that anytime soon? And if your answer is no, like, can you see why I'm not bullish on his future? And he seems like a great dude, and I sincerely hope that he proves me wrong. But it's just something I want to call attention to because he's not a guaranteed franchise quarterback like a lot of people are saying. Like I've said before, most first round quarterbacks end up to be disappointing. And Joe Burrow in these first 5 games has all the warning signs of joining that majority.